Moments That Matter is brought to you by Binkley Ross Family of Funeral Homes and by Melise's.
Welcome to the Moments That Matter from the Voyage Senior Living. I am your host, Melise Oakley. Today, I'm back with a dear friend of mine, Stephanie Lawrence from Realty 618, and we're talking about something that can feel overwhelming for so many families, decluttering a home. What do you do with everything? And how do you begin with it? It feels like it's so much. This isn't just about cleaning out a house. Because with the right plan, this process doesn't have to feel overwhelming. It can actually feel freeing. So welcome back, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Again, we've talked about this many times of decluttering, downsizing, and what to do with everything.
Right.
So it's overwhelming. Like you go into a home and just see, like my mom just moved 9 years ago. And I go in and all the things, it's overwhelming.
All her pretties are there.
It is. And it means something to her and it's emotional and so forth. When somebody does walk into a home full of years or even decades of belongings, what's the first thing they usually feel?
They don't want to let them go.
Mm-hmm.
Or where do I start? I don't want to give this away. I understand. Brian and I also have resources that, we could talk about donating stuff. What's throwaway? What's keep? What can we do? And if our kids want anything, or our kids' kids, grandchildren, do they want any pieces that meant something to them? So I would start there, just sort of seeing extended family or friends if they want anything. And if not, then, okay, let's try the next step. Whatever's left, let's have an estate sale, right? That's an option.
That was beautiful. So my mother and father, they had a estate sale and they were alive. So it was really crazy because they've had it publicized and so forth. And people were contacting me saying, is your mom and dad okay? Like what?
Right.
And at that time it was wonderful because we went through 42 years of things. Mm-hmm. And there were things in there like old Bibles I didn't know what to do with. I didn't know these people. I didn't want to get rid of it.
Right.
But I wanted someone to take it and cherish it. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know those people. So that was my takeaway. Like if I didn't personally know them, then I wasn't going, or if wasn't something immediately like, oh, I want to take this, then I was going to put it in the estate sale. And we got to learn a lot. And it was very educational because there was things in there that I had never seen before.
Yeah, you unearthed some real gems, I'm sure.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And learned stories. So it's about stories and not necessarily things.
Right.
So where does someone start with this?
Well, like I said, you can always contact us or friends and family to see if anybody wants anything. Okay. And I would just take it if whatever's left.
Maybe one room at a time.
Yes, you could do one room at a time if you want to. Yeah, however long it takes you. But yeah, I would just start going through things, pitching, purging, what stays, what can you donate to Goodwill. Some people would love to have some of those items. Right?
Absolutely. And it goes to a good cause too. There's all different kinds and the resources, going back to resources.
And I think sometimes when like clients have gone through stuff that they thought that they've needed, and as they've gone through, it's like, oh, I don't need that, and it is freeing. It's like, okay, I can live with this, half of what I have, I can live with this.
So decluttering though, you have said stuff about when someone is showing a house.
Yes.
And decluttering. Kind of go through that.
Sure. In a buyer's mind, when you see a buyer coming in, they want to envision their items in the home, right? This is where I want my couch and my bed. And if you have a home that is full in every corner, everything, sometimes that's all you can see when you walk in. You can't even see the room for what it really is. And when it's decluttered, it looks more open, more spacious, right? Light and airy. Okay.
Different generations. We've talked about that too, because there are some generations
that keep everything.
And I love my mother, but she had some things like the first time I drew a straight
A
line.
line. Yeah.
And I'm like,
And that's great.
and it's
That is
great.
It
But
is.
we don't need to keep all that.
We don't.
And
We have the memories of it. Seems like it goes in stages with different generations. Our grandparents, our parents, they kept things, right? Because there wasn't a whole lot of that people had.
well, like my grandmother, she went through the Great Depression. So she would keep
Everything. A can. Everything. And nothing wrong with that. But it's as the generations are going along, I'm starting to see the trend of the minimalist, right? That's really big. Not much stuff. And honestly, most buyers nowadays want their own furniture. Sometimes they want a piece of mom and dad's and stuff like that, but they don't want a whole house, right? So the trends are different. Going into a home that's clean, you don't have to have necessarily everything out because, to sell a home, but just to have it picked up, a nice, good clean, where people can envision their items in there, you'll get the most out of your investment.
because you had even said, like with my mom's house, she has a lot of knickknacks. And you had said, well, maybe if she wants to start showing it, start packing stuff away,
Totes.
organizing it.
Organizing it in totes. Absolutely. And if you can, maybe put the stuff in a storage unit if you don't really know what to do with it right now. I don't know what to do with it right now. Okay, well, if that's a possibility, maybe getting a storage unit to get those items moved out, to clear the home, to get it up to sell. Because sometimes, Melise, these investments, your home is what's going to carry your parents to the next stage.
Absolutely. That's
Right. So you might need those proceeds to help mom with
assistant living
her
or
second act of life.
right. And that's the thing. It is a second act.
It is.
But we had also talked about the difference between planning ahead versus waiting
Yes.
in a crisis situation.
Correct.
What is your take on that?
Well, I definitely think being prepared always, having that plan, having the paperwork, having the back end things in motion. Whether it's a will, setting up a trust, whatever that looks like, I think everybody needs to come together and get all of that sort of ironed out or a plan. Because what happens, Melise, is time marches on, right? Oh, we'll deal with it next year. Well, 2 years have passed. We're all getting older and something happens. And when something happens, we hyper focus on the crisis, right? When the crisis happens, your mind starts to get a little clouded. You're making emotional, sometimes hasty decisions.
Quick.
And it's not necessarily the best course of action. So at least if you have this guide in the background, okay, this is happening over here with mom or dad, right? But this is what we're going to go by this if something happens here. This is our plan going forward with the home and her items and things like that. So just always better to be prepared. It'll pivot. It's not going to go like this. Real estate doesn't go like this. It goes this way, this way, this way. And we just pivot. We pivot, right?
And if you have a plan, when you do get in that crisis situation, you're more prepared and having your resources and having the people in your court. For instance, I deal with people getting older all the time, and that's my wheelhouse. And when it comes to your own family, it's a whole nother ball of wax. And, just getting your team. So having your real estate, having your estate sale, having your plan, having your attorney, because there could be financial decisions that you think you're doing right, and it could just be the wrong way.
Right. And everybody's mad. And everybody can get mad. Emotions get high. And
families, you're upset with the situation. You're upset that your mother or your father is declining. And that's upsetting within itself. And then you have all this stuff. And then it's just more, it just
heightens it. So let's try to mitigate that. Let's
Right?
try to mitigate that on the onset. That way we kind of know what we're doing here, right? Everybody's on the bus here, and we all know.
And it's never too early to prepare.
No.
For
You're
instance,
always on me about preparing.
Right.
And I need to do that. We need to do that because not everybody knows. You may have investments that your family don't know about.
But the other thing is also making money from what you can.
Right.
With your estate sales, because that's something, like you said, I liked how you said, we're living a lot longer than what we plan to. And people aren't financially maybe prepared for that.
Right.
because we're living longer. At the Voyage Senior Living, we're a non-for-profit organization, and we are able to help individuals that cannot necessarily afford arrangements for assistant living. And so that's what I love about what I do. We may not be a good fit for them. They may not be able to be in our place, but I want to help people. And I think that's also with what you do.
You do. Real estate is not just transactions.
Right?
I mean, I look back at some of the things when we started, and you look back after it's all said and done, it's closed, and I look back and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, wow. Look what that unfolded to. You don't think that in the onset. You're thinking, okay, this, and you're just trying to get to the finish line maybe. But man, you look back a year later and you're like, wow, that was amazing.
It's transitioning into a different phase of people's lives.
It is.
The second act. And it doesn't have to be, like a bad thing.
No.
And especially if you're prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about what you and Brian do and how we've talked about how you've helped your clients, because it is overwhelming. I mean, just sitting here thinking about it, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm going to probably be into a new house. And I just think about all that. And that's what I love about you all and what you do. It's not just a job for you. It's about helping people transition.
It is. It is. And that's why we do it.
Right?
That's exactly why we do it.
So I come to you, Stephanie.
Which you have.
Yes, I have. And we've done this, and we've started planting seeds. And my mother's saying, well, not right now. And I said, no, you're not ready for it right now.
Right.
But then she falls or breaks a hip and then what do we do? So what kind of advice would you go for someone like me, that sandwich generation? So I'm taking care of my children, and then I'm also walking beside my mother and trying to make sure she makes the right decision financially. What kind of advice would you give?
I would just say, you've already planted the seed, which is great, right? Have us come over. Let's walk around the house. Let's see what you
need to do.
Yeah. Remember, I come over and I was talking about your mom's concrete. And I can't think, I'm sitting there thinking, I can't believe I'm talking about this concrete. But I mean, there's little things that add value to the home that maybe the homeowner doesn't necessarily realize. It's like, this was done very well. It looks great. Curb appeal, all those things. So it's like, let us come in. Let us see what you have. We'll give our opinion. It's just an opinion, just a guide. And then, okay, so we've done that. Looking to see what we potentially can get for mom's house in the event that they have to transition to a different home.
How we're going to sell it, if we're going to give it to, all those different things.
Oh, yeah.
And
a family member.
And that's, getting it written down on paper or having your resources there. It's things like that. Like my mom and father, they plan, they have a trust.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad for that, because then I don't have to worry about what that is a gift. If you can give your family what you want, because you know as well as I do, you've had a family member that had a head injury at a very young age. Things change just because you're older. Yes, it's going to happen, but these are things that we need to talk about, starting planting those seeds, telling people, get the right people on your team.
Exactly.
Surround yourself with the right people and you can accomplish anything.
Absolutely. We're here to help in any way we can.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm very passionate about this, and I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for joining us today on Moments That Matter from the Voyage Senior Living. A big thank you to Stephanie Lawrence with helping us break down something that so many people quietly struggle with. If you're starting to go through a home or just thinking about it, remember this: you don't have to do it all at once, and you don't have to do it alone. The key is having a plan. At the Voyage Senior Living, we're here to support you through every step of that journey. Join us next time on Moments That Matter.
Moments That Matter is brought to you by Binkley Ross Family of Funeral Homes. Locally owned and operated. Binkley Ross Funeral Home, Blue Funeral Home, Mitchell Hughes Funeral Home, Call 618-997-7771 or go to binkleyross.com. And by Melise's, tuxedos, menswear, custom embroidery, and apparel. Melise's, the best little suit shop in town. Call 618-993-1800 or go to melises.com.